Hey, I don't know how many people are going to make it on with this whole fiasco, but I will definitely. I'm recording right now. I know some are hopping on, so whoever has the link saved should be able to get on. This is such a mess. It's like it made me upload a photo of myself and says we're reviewing your photo to make sure like this is you and your for security. We're looking out for your security, and it could take 1 to 48 hours. I'm like, so
Don't you know that I have a business to run?
yeah. So I have whoever is on. I have no Facebook right now. Our call tonight, and I'm gonna have Gabby kind of introduce herself a little bit, but when she starts. But I want to at least like give you guys an idea of who she is and why I'm so excited to have her on tonight, and then also just let you guys know that I did post the announcements and everything for this call, but obviously they're not showing up anymore or anything. So as soon as I can get on, I will go over all of that again. But for now, I just want to make sure you guys know that the free workout is up for Morning Meltdown. So if you haven't tried it yet, go try it. Everyone is raving about it. And make sure that you get your people the link to it. I'm going to be emailing it to everyone as well. And so I've collected everyone's email for that. And then we are doing tomorrow. I'm going to have someone repost the Zoom link now, but we're doing a group wide of the sample workout at 6:30 a.m. Pacific for anyone that wants to join us, and your prospects and everyone are welcome as well. We're going to do the sample workout together. And then I think that was the most important thing that I wanted to make sure you guys told you, since my post is not up anymore. The rest of the stuff I'll get up for you guys. But I'm going to go ahead and introduce Gabby and then get things started. So thank you guys for those of you that are on, and sorry for this being such a mess. And Gabby, so sorry. Normally, like, we have more people on our call, but this is kind of a mess right now with like no Facebook. So, anyways, Gabby has been a coach for 2 years, and she was a client first. She's lifetime 1-star. She's an SC10 all-star, so she's hit Success Club 10 for 12 months in a row. And she is a mom to a 5-month-old baby who is the most adorable baby on the planet. I'm literally obsessed. And she's a dog mama and a pineapple lover. She also lives in freaking Hawaii, so #goals. Like, every time I see her pictures, I'm like, I'm coming to visit you. And she just has like such an amazing energy that is contagious, and I love it. She's super passionate, and whenever I heard her speak, I was like, okay, this is my girl. So I reached out to her and we connected like instantly. I just did her team call earlier today, which I will post the recording of when I get it as well. But I'm super, super pumped for her to come share with you guys tonight. And I just hope that you can really pay attention and listen to what she has to say, because she's going to be really sharing some great information. So make sure that you are fully present, taking notes, and ready to learn and grow. So Gabby, I'm going to hand it over to you. Go ahead, girlfriend.
Hey, oh my God, thanks for such an amazing introduction. I'm so excited to chat with you guys today. So, Cassie, want me to speak about
Okay, you're like super quiet. Sorry. I don't know what's going on.
Can you hear me now?
No, I can barely hear you. Like, I can hear you, but it's really quiet. Sorry. Wait, talk.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, with my headphones, damn it. It's okay. All right, so I'm so excited because Cass asked me to speak a little bit about finding your voice. And I find this is a topic that I am so passionate about, or I've discovered to become so passionate about, because of how much it is not only a vital piece of your business, but it is so fun to just share authentically from your heart. It is so awesome to be able to say, holy crap, like, I am not a saleswoman. I'm not here to sell Shakeology. I am not here to sell workout programs. I am here to genuinely change someone's life because of my own actions that I'm taking every single day. So I have slides, contrary to what Cassidy typically does. I have slides that I want to share with you guys. I just kind of love, I'm a visual learner. I am very much like Cassidy though. Like, I speak with my hands. I apologize if I swear, but I just get so passionate and so deep into conversation. So I just wanted to share some tangibles. Can you guys see this? Give me a thumbs. Yeah, you guys can see this? No, you can't see my screen. Oh my God.
It's just that you started sharing your screen, but that's all it says. Oh,
Let me
wait.
try. Wait. Hold. Let me try. Can you see again?
No. It's like your connection or something, I think. Because it says that you started sharing. It's just not showing anything yet. And your like bars are red.
Slides behind me. And if you guys want me to share the slides, I totally can afterwards.
Do you have is it a Canva link or anything?
I have it on Google Doc, like Google Drive, so I could send it.
You can send it and I can share my screen if you want.
Totally yeah, let me do that really quickly.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Just put it in the chat.
What is your email so I can send it over to you?
CassidyBrewer16@gmail.com.
This will be easy. This will be fast. And Cassidy will get it right up. But I'm so excited because I feel like a huge piece, like I said a second ago, of what we do is finding your voice. And that's what makes this business so fun and so authentic. And I think the more you can play into that, the more you, Cassidy Brewer 16@gmail. Sending in. The more you can play into your story, you guys, I'm going to go over this again too, but the more you go into your story and the more you play into the role of finding your voice, the more authentic and fun this is going to feel. Hold on. They're going to be sending right now. Almost there. And I'm super excited. Fun fact while we wait for that to send over to Cass. I have a bachelor's in communications, and I never say that in a sense of I'm more like educated, but more so this is where this passion comes from. And this is what I love teaching my team. And it just kind of brings it's like real full-time circle, because I never thought that I would be a Beachbody coach like many of us. Like we never grew up saying, I want to be a Beachbody coach, right? But, I think the biggest thing is it's fun to watch your passions and watch the things that make you play into this business, whether you have a bachelor's degree in something like that, or whether you are super passionate about teaching other people. Okay, let me see. I sent it to you. You have it? Yep, I sent it over to you. But I think it's super fun to be able to watch. Yes. Okay, cool. It's super fun to be able to watch your passions play into this. So what I really want to dive into, I'll tell you when to flip, Cass, I'll tell you when to scroll. There's only 4 slides, so it's not very long, but I think it's really fun to be able to play into, finding your voice and how that will play into your success, especially if you're so fully immersed, no matter what your goal may be. If your goal is to, make this a side time hustle, if your goal is to make this a full-time hustle, leaning into your story is going to be the most fulfilling way to run this business, period. Okay. So if you could scroll to the next one, that would be awesome. Okay, so first tangible step. I only have 3 steps for you guys. I love to keep it simple, but first tangible step for you guys is to master your story. I find this so like a huge piece of being able to start out as a coach, because when you get started, you're like, oh my God, I need to do this. Like I need to be this perfect social media. I need to have a fit body, da, 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 da. And then we get so caught up in the fluff. We get so caught up in the fact of, I need to do all of the fluffy things that aren't even going to produce me an income. So, what I think that the biggest thing that you should do as a coach is really, really play into your story. And you probably hear this all the time. It's so watered down, but your why is everything. So why did you get started as a coach? What enticed you? If you're one of Cassidy's personally sponsored coaches, what about Cassidy's story enticed you to become a coach, right? So what are the things that really, really made you do the plunge and jump into something like this? The second thing I encourage you to do is do a big fat brain dump of all of your important turning points, right? Do a big brain dump of all of the things that led you to make a decision to becoming a better you and why you wanted to help other people through the process. Like I said a second ago, whether your goal is to make this a side time hustle or get your products paid for monthly, or even make this a full-time hustle, they all mean the same thing, right? They all mean helping other people and making an impact on your own life and other people's lives. So do a big fat brain dump of all of the turning points that got you to where you're at, And that's your story, right? It could literally go back to an event that happened when you were 5 years old, or it could be something that happened last week that really made you take the plunge into something like this. It does not matter. Your story is your story. And the moment that you master that and take ownership of that, it's going to be so much easier to speak from the heart and speak with passion and speak with conviction that you might see all of these top leaders, whether it be on this team or just top leaders in the company, speaking with all of this kind of conviction. I know that when I first got started, I remember sitting there thinking, wow, they are so knowledgeable, or they are so passionate about what they do. And the only way that I was going to get there, this is the self-talk that I had, the only way that I was going to get there is if I was able to lean into my own story, right? And oftentimes we look externally. I know that for a couple months at the beginning, I remember Mandy Kai is my upline, if you guys don't know. But she used to make all of these beautifully written captions. She's an amazing writer in general too. And I remember looking at her, stories, or I remember looking at her posts on her Instagram and trying to emulate that. And at the end of the day, that's not your voice. That's not who you are. So if you're somebody that is looking externally, if you're somebody that is constantly looking for inspiration in the source of other people, then I encourage you to, number one, I'll talk about this in a second, but number one, go back to personal development, because 9 times out of 10, those people that you might be looking at, they're doing personal development. They're doing some sort of personal development. And that's where they get their captions from. That's where the growth comes from. So do a big fat brain dump of the important turning points. And my last point on this slide is talk about it consistently. Just because you shared it one time, just because you shared it 2 times, just because you shared it 500 times does not mean that it's enough, because whoever saw your post today won't see it tomorrow, and vice versa. So just understand that consistency is key. And I know that's such a saturated word that we use and you probably hear all of the time, but it really is true. Make it so simple for yourself in a sense of, I'm going to tell my story. And as you evolve as a coach, that's where you get new turning points. That's where you get new breakthroughs, when you are constantly evolving and you are so immersed on focusing on how you can grow and helping other people do the same too. Okay, next slide, Cass. Okay, so be your own success story. I actually heard this from Kelsey Hill on the National Wake Up Call today. And I love this because, a lot of the times we want to, like I said at the beginning of this, we want to lean into all of the, logistics of Beachbody rather than focusing on how to create that own success story for us. Go back to the beginning of multi-level marketing with Beachbody. Danielle Natoni, all of those top coaches that you hear, Lindsay Matway, those OG coaches, Melissa McAllister, they had to be their own success story in order to get other people on board, right? So a lot of the times we want to be information hoarders and we want to take in all of the trainings, and then all of a sudden we think that we get that last and final training and that's going to make us successful, or that's going to help us get that breakthrough. All of these trainings are great, right? But you have to be your own success story and keep it as simple as that, really. At the end of the day, that's what coaching is. I've only been a coach for 2 years. And, I can really just say at the end of the day, it really just comes down to playing into your own success story and playing into your own transformation. And I like to tell my team this: have a racehorse mentality. Have a mentality where you're not distracted by anybody else's journey. Can you learn from other coaches? Absolutely. Absolutely learn from other coaches if it's productive and if it's not dicking around and just saying, okay, I'm going to go to Ashley Molstad's profile because she's number 1 in the network. I need to do everything she does. No, have perfectly good intention when you're going to do some kind of market research, so to speak, and learning from other people, but also play into your journey in a sense of, hey, I know that I'm so unique, and if just one person can relate to this, then I'll be happy. Period. So a few points that I have with this when it comes to this is facts tell and stories sell. And I share 3 different, I guess you could say, phases of my business, which I'll go through in a second for you guys. But facts tell and stories sell, you guys. People do not care how many grams of sugar are in Shakeology. They do not care about how many programs we have on Beachbody On Demand. They want to know how this is changing your life. So lean into that and lean into those changes, and then lead with that kind of passion when it comes to having your conversations. At the end of the day, I don't ever give my team scripts. And the reason why is because what I say is going to be completely different from what they say. I give them guidance and let them know that they don't have to be this icky saleswoman talking about, Beachbody On Demand and all of the accolades that Beachbody has, right? but I let them know to lead with the changes that they are seeing in their own body. And if they can't do that, that means they're not doing a program. And if you feel that way, if you feel like you don't know how to talk about Beachbody on Demand, or if you don't know how to talk about Shakeology, you have to ask yourself, am I doing these things? Am I getting a transformation? Am I drinking Shakeology every single day like it's my motherfucking job? Because it is. So you have to ask yourself those things. What program are you doing? If you can't tell me right now in the chat box what program you're doing, what day you're on, how you're feeling, how many changes you've seen, or whatever it may be, even if you're on day one, you could still have mental changes. You could still have non-scale victories of, wow, I pressed play for 2 days straight, or whatever it may be. So facts tell, stories sell. Always remember that. Share your experience. Like I said a second ago, your experience is everything, and people can honestly read through the nervousness. They can read through the fact if you're just another MLM gal just trying to come up in their inbox and sell them Shakeology, right? So share your experience and relate to them. So for example, myself, I'm a new mom. I'll go through my phases in just a second here, but I'm a new mom, and at this point in my life, I speak to a lot of moms, right? When I first got started, you could see there, I'm not a mom. I'm not a mom there, but I played into the fact of, holy crap, I'll give you guys a little backstory. When I first got started, that top left photo, I had just slipped a disc in my back 2 months prior. I didn't have the perfect transformation. I didn't have the perfect body, but what I did is I shared, I'm just doing this the best way that I can, and I'm here to show you that it's possible for you too. I played into that story at that season of my life, and I spoke to those kinds of people, right? Nowadays, when people tell me they're busy, I'm like, bitch, me too. It's hard to have a 5-month-old run a business full time and work out. So, my moral of the story here is to be able to say, okay, where am I currently at right now? Be so obsessed with your story. And it kind of sounds like conceited, but at the end of the day, when you're so fully immersed on analyzing the different kinds of conversations that you're having. So for example, if somebody gives you an objection, you have either two choices. You can either say, oh shit, I don't know what to say. And I'm so guilty of this because I used to do this. Or you can lean into it, embrace it, grab it by the horns and say, girl, I feel you. I've felt that way too. I've totally been in that position, but guess what? I have this amazing, no, you can't do that. And that's how you share experience. That's how you become empathetic and become relatable and being able to strip yourself sales like facade to speak. Because oftentimes I know that I had this feeling when I first started. I remember saying, God, I don't want to push a product. I don't want to be that girl that slides into everybody's DMs on Facebook after not talking to them for 10 years in high school, right? And the best way to do that is to show up with energy. Cassidy just said this on my team call too. Show up with energy and enthusiasm is contagious. It's contagious like a disease. It's weird, but I think the biggest thing is to play into the fact that your story is so dang unique, and that's where that racehorse mentality comes. That's where having this mindset of, I'm going to do the best that I can, not the best that Cassidy can do. I'm going to, lead by example because you set the pace, sis. You set the pace for your clients, for your audience, and everybody else too, okay? And the last point I have on here is being the guinea pig. You have to be the one to be that courageous person to get out of your comfort zone, right? You have to be the one that makes the change to show other people that can be moved. Rachel Hollis always says this. Maybe you were given this mountain because you were here to show somebody that it can be moved, right? Clearly you made that decision to invest into yourself so that you can show other people that it's possible for them too. Doesn't matter what your goal is, like I said. You don't have to be balls to the walls, want to make this business full-time, go lead, but you're here to serve one mission, period. Doesn't matter what your other external goal is. You're here to change other people's lives with this beautiful gift that we have called Beachbody On Demand / Shakeology / Energize and all the other good products, So kind of just going off of this little phase chart, I guess you can say. I did it up into 9 different photos because like I said a second ago, my story at the beginning was not to be a mom. I wasn't anticipating to be a mom almost 2 years ago when I first got started as a coach. Shit, I was one of the most insecure people you could have probably met. I was drinking every single day. I sure as heck wasn't in good health. Like I said a second ago, I slipped a disc in my back. So my story was practically starting fresh for me. I wanted a fresh start and to be able to make positive change. And ultimately my why at the beginning was to just help other women feel confident like I did. I started out as a client. And I just loved the much. Ultimately, that's what made me take the leap because holy shit, this community sets my soul on fire. Literally. You can see the second tier of photos. I just found out I was pregnant. So I'm speaking to a whole new crowd now. I'm speaking to a brand new crowd because my story now is that I'm growing a little human inside of my belly, right? Now I'm speaking to my mom culture. I'm speaking to my ladies who are soon to be moms. And it's just really fun. No, and you don't have to have like a baby or anything like that to have this miraculous change or success or turn in your business. But my point is, you're going to have different seasons of your business if you're fully immersed into your story. If you're fully immersed into making long-lasting change in your life first, that will be the catalyst to your business. That will be where the big, massive change comes from versus being an information hoarder and trying to have all the answers and then this perfect laid out story or this perfect Instagram feed to portray on Instagram or whatever it may be. So my biggest encouragement for you today is going back to that first slide and saying, okay, big fat brain dump of all of the things that maybe kept you up at night before you got started as a coach, those big turning points. And besides the fact of your story, what makes you passionate? What are you passionate about? Are you passionate about HIIT cardio or do you hate it? Because it's totally okay to hate it, Are you passionate about weightlifting? Are you passionate about self-love? Are you passionate about baking? Or maybe you're a mom like me and you love the shit out of being a mom and the hard days and everything. I don't know. Whatever it may be, what are you passionate about? Because that's what's going to set you apart from the rest. For me, like Cassidy said at the beginning, I fucking love pineapples and everybody on my Instagram knows it. I get tagged in multiple times a day. They're like, I saw this and I thought of you. I was like, bitch, I never even met you, but we're best friends now. So, I think the biggest thing is to let everybody know that, let everybody know who you are. It's just kind of like a subtle branding tip and being able to say, okay, this is what makes me me, and embracing the shit out of that. And if there's somebody that comes along the way that doesn't agree with that, guess what, honey? They ain't your people. That's okay. That's totally okay because your people are going to come along. They're going to love pineapples just as much as you. They're going to love the beach just as much as you, drinking wine, saying the F-bomb all the time. Your people are going to come along and they're going to be there to stick around for longer than a few weeks versus feeling like you need to serve everybody in this business. Okay, so you can go to the next slide with my last slide. Okay, speaking with enthusiasm, you guys. Like I said at the beginning, the best thing you can do for your business is just show up with energy. You don't have to have this perfect transformation. You don't have to know every single thing about Beachbody On Demand. I had never drank Shakeology in my life, even though I was a client. I signed up with Beachbody On Demand, like side story. Mandy had reached out to me. I've known her since I was 6. This is kind of fucked up. I've known her since I was 6, and I ghosted her over and over again. Like somebody that has known her knows she's a real life human, right? So I ghosted her for about 6 months, I'd say. I never drank Shakeology in my entire life, but I loved the program. So I got started in her challenge group because she invited me. She's like, you should join my challenge group. I said, cool, I got Beachbody On Demand. I'll transfer to have you as my coach. And I think the biggest thing is being able to be okay with being a beginner and know that you will, quote unquote, get all the answers eventually. But even till this day, it does not matter how long you've been a coach. Even till this day, perfect example is Mandy messaged a bunch of us today and was like, can you guys help me out with this? And she's been in the business for almost 3 years now. So I think understanding that it's okay to not know all the answers, I think being honest with yourself and saying, okay, I don't know all the answers, but I'm just excited about it. I'm super excited about it because I know that this is going to change my life and I know this is going to change somebody else's life too. And the more convicted you are about, number one, like I said a second ago, getting your own transformation, but also being okay with where your feet are planted out right now, it makes it so much easier to progress forward and it makes it so much more, quote unquote, comfortable to be able to talk about the business at like a coaching standpoint and also to your challengers, also to the people that are, prospects like wanting to get fit or whatever it may be. So be okay with being a beginner. Be okay with being a real human because that's what makes you relatable. They're not seeking this perfect person that knows every single piece of the FAQ in the back office. If I don't know something these days, I'm like, hold up, let me go check on that for you. I'll be right back. Okay. And then they're like, oh, okay, awesome. Thank you so much. People prefer honesty over perfection, honestly. That's what I've come across. And I think the more you're okay with that and stripping yourself from this fear of judgment or fear of failure or whatever, that thing that might be holding you back from, reaching out to these people or just taking action, period, the more you're going to move your business forward and the more you're able to learn from those experiences and being that beginner. I look back sometimes at some of my old messages and I'm like, oh girl, that was Hot Mess Express train. But that's okay because we learn from it. We grow from it. And I think the more you are courageous enough to show up daily, the more you're overcoming those like inner mean girl like demons that sit inside of you, okay? Second thing is this personal development will be the fuel to your fire. If you're not doing PD, or if you're like somebody that's like so-so with PD, you're half-assing your business. Sorry, not sorry. But seriously, PD has been the fuel to my fire, you guys. And I just bleed this so much because of how much it can transform you as a woman or man, if you're a man on the team, you know, it will transform your life. I remember sitting there, I was eager, I was excited and ready to learn. But there are times where sometimes our ego can get in the way saying, I don't need this. I don't need PD. I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'll be fine. I'll be successful. Put your ego aside for a sec and just know that PD is not there to like take a badge at your ego. It's there to help you grow. It's there to help you and serve you in the best way possible. And it just goes back to fitness. If you're not growing your mind, then you can't grow your body. You can't become that confident woman that you want to be, but you have to lean into every single like piece of coaching. You have to lean into the vital behaviors every single day. And I know that probably sounds so watered down, but it's so true. The simplicity, I oftentimes catch myself even saying, I'm not doing enough and like just my mind's going a million miles an hour thinking I need to do more. When in reality, it's just grow your mind, get a transformation, and show up daily and invite other people, connect with other people, be myself, period. And I think when you strip yourself from that pressure, the enthusiasm is so much here to sustain and keep consistent. Because how many times have you done this? You've acted on a decision or you made a decision where it was solely feeling. And then 3 days later, you're like, I don't really feel like it anymore. Nah, screw that. I'm not going to do that anymore. I know that I've done that a million times where I'm just like I could use that as an example for fitness, right? Every like Friday, I'd be like, yeah, I'm off work. I'm so excited. I'm going to start my fitness on Monday, whatever. And then Monday comes around and I like not as strong as I like would like to be. And my motivation's like, you know? So I think the main point here when it comes to personal development and my main, you know, like takeaway from that specific point for you guys is to understand that when you work on your mind and you work on the things that you are constantly telling yourself, here comes my intercom nerd, you guys. When you work on the intrapersonal communication, the things that you are telling yourself every single day, that plays a huge role into the transformation. It plays a huge role into the way that you speak to people. It plays a huge role into your passion, keeping that split underneath your ass every single day. But if you're not growing your mind, then there is no expansion in the way that you think. And a lot of the time, I'm such a Tony Robbins nerd, by the way, you guys. Tony Robbins talks a lot about being a problem solver. Sorry, that was my mom. A lot of the times, Tony Robbins talks about being a problem solver. And what he means by this, he talks a lot about neuroscience and the way that your brain works and the way that we think the way that we do because of our experience and so on. And if you want to read a really good book, it's called Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. It's incredible. So moral of the story here is, you know, he talks a lot about the way that we think, and he talks a lot about being a problem solver in a sense of you can either ask yourself questions of why am I not at Success Club? Or you can ask yourself, how can I get to Success Club? How can I become confident? How can I send more invites? How can I be more disciplined? How can I show up with a little bit more fire and intensity and passion? How can I become that, you know, resource for people? How can I be that inspiration for other people, right? There's a huge difference of asking yourself questions of, why don't I look like her? Or why can't I just be successful at this? Why am I not diamond? Versus asking yourself, how can I get to diamond? What are the things that I can double down on every single day? How can I 10 times my actions? How can I invest myself a little bit more into this community? There's a huge difference of the questions that you're asking yourself on a day-to-day basis. So the last point that I have on there is you will evolve. You will. You have to trust the process. And I actually shared this with my audience on social media the other day. The joy and the glory is found in the process, right? The before and after is great, mentally and physically. The before and after, incredible, right? But what makes it so glorifying and fulfilling, period, is the key word here. What makes it so fulfilling is that you can look back and say, damn, I evolved into that woman. I became the woman that can accomplish those goals. I became the woman that can be a diamond coach. I became the woman that can speak about this business like I can in my sleep. I can talk about this business in my sleep probably. but that only happens when you immerse yourself. The best way to learn is immersion. For example, I went to Tony Robbins and saw him live last summer. And if you're going to go to anything, any kind of like immersion event like that, get your booty to Summit. If you're not going to Summit, I encourage you to go to Summit ASAP. So, last thing I want to touch on with this is the best way to learn is immersion. And like I said a second ago, I went to Tony Robbins last summer. I had the pleasure to go. And he's not only incredible, but he keeps you there for 4 days, 16 hours every single day. Not to just badger you with information, but to also push your mind in a sense of the more you are attentive and the more you are there and fully playing into what's going on right in front of you, the more you're going to learn. And it's funny because like the seminar, it's, like I said, 4 days long, hours a day. And he has you getting up and down and up and down and up and down, like dancing, sitting, dancing, sitting, dancing, sitting in an ice freaking cold room. And the reason he does that is because, number one, immersion is the best way to learn. I took so much away from that weekend, more than I ever did in a training like this, and I mean, I still take away stuff from trainings like this. But the point is being able to really flip your life in a second. It takes 2 seconds to change your state. And that's the point of standing and dancing and then sitting down and learning. Standing and dancing and then sitting down and learning in the ice cold room, right? So to wrap everything up, you guys, the more you lean into yourself and the more you make yourself a number one priority every single day, non-negotiable every day. I don't care if it's a rest day. You got to do something for yourself. And I don't mean physically. I mean mentally. Mentally do something for yourself every single day, whether it means to unplug for 2 hours and just do a big fat brain dump on where you're at and how you can get better every single day. Or if it's a bubble bath or if it's a glass of wine, whatever it may be, do something for you and make yourself a non-negotiable every single day. Oftentimes I see coaches sit there and say, I just don't really feel like it. I don't know why I'm not seeing success in my business. Because you're not putting yourself first. You're not putting first. You got to put yourself first. What other business? And I don't mean to like do comparison game, more so like a gratitude like plug right here is what other business can you put yourself first and be successful, right? Put yourself first and, pour into your cup first in order to, help other people and be successful along the way. So I think the more you lean into gratitude, lean into your story, lean into what you do have, it's going to play a huge role in your success. So that's all I have. I don't know if there's any questions or anything like that, but that's what I got for you.
Oh my gosh. That was awesome. Like my friends text and they're like, I love Gabi. I'm like, me too.
Oh my God, you guys are so sweet.
I don't know. Does anyone have any questions? I love questions. So if you do, unmute yourself. You can ask.
Seriously, I don't bite. I swear a lot, but I don't bite. I promise I'll answer your questions with grace.
Nobody has any questions.
I'm just like looking at the chat and I'm obsessed.
Oh,
you guys
like
are super
me, probably.
No, good. You're a good girl. I love it. I love the fire. And I'm sure your team is the same exact way.
Yes, they are. Okay, awesome. Well, I guess if there's no questions, then that is all. I would love to know what your guys' biggest takeaways are from this too when we're done here. And then I will post the recording once I can post again, and I will send it to you too, Gabi. But just thank you so much. And I just I feel like on fire. Like I'm so pumped, and I wrote down like a full page of notes. I'm like, oh, I love this so much, and just grateful that you came on tonight. I feel like it was everything that we needed to hear. And so I just appreciate you sharing your heart and your passion and energy because it's contagious too. So thank you so much. Let's take a picture really fast. So before you guys hop off, and then we can go. So everybody smile. 1, 2, 3. 2 people didn't have their camera on, but that's okay. Okay, thank you guys so much, and have a good rest of your night. I love you all, and you're going to kick ass with the morning meltdown workout. I can't wait for you guys to try it. Bye.